So I'll welcome on stage Thomas, Paul-Noël, Andrea, and Caroline from Deepki. Please make them feel welcome. Thomas, the floor is yours.
I won't be the only moderator. It seems strange, but I want to share this role with my co-speakers. Hi, I'm Thomas. I work for Choose Paris region. For those who don't understand English, Choose. Yes, we are the attractivity agency of the Paris region. We are a non-profit funded by the local government to promote, of course, the beautiful Paris region. So it's not only Paris, it's Paris and the 8 districts around for a total 12 million inhabitants and 30% of the French GDP. So this is not only a promotion agency, we support operationally international companies who want to set up a subsidiary in our beautiful ecosystem by connecting them, by bringing them free of charge services such as a portfolio of experts. We have experts on the panel today. So I'm really looking for scale-up who are about to expand their market. That's the topic, and today we will talk about the scale-up journey in this international expansion phase. And I hand over to you, Paul-Noël, to introduce yourself as well.
Thank you, Thomas. I'm glad to be here today. I'm Paul-Noël Moracchini, the second guy on the slide, a global mobility advisor for Business Friends. For those who still don't know, Business Friends is a public agency that seeks to promote French attractiveness abroad. We are divided into 3 different branches. One is dedicated to export, so we help French companies to export goods and services abroad. The second one is dedicated to invest. We are trying to attract foreign investors and foreign talents to France so they can be benefits for the French economy. And the third branch is dedicated to the international voluntary program for French and European talents. From my side, I'm Global Mobility Advisor, so we are a team of 5 experts in immigrations that can provide free and confidential services regarding your immigrations in France, so visa, residence permits, but also personal taxations and social security in France. We run a website which is called welcometofrance.com, so if you're concerned by immigration in France, do not hesitate to take a look. You may find anything you need regarding your international mobility in France. Finally, we do have a partnership with La French Tech. They do have an office here in Station F at the 3rd floor. And thanks to our partnerships, we are able to give information to tech talents regarding the French tech visa procedures. We'll have time to speak about it later. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Andrea. I'm very happy to be here and very happy to participate in this great session. So I'm a venture operating partner at Inov. We are a VC fund, a French-German venture capital fund investing in B2B tech companies. We have 350 million euros under management and are looking for great companies who help improve productivity in various sectors in the industry in Europe, from climate tech to platform as a service, learning, logistics, very many companies, very B2B tech focused. So, and as a venture operating partner, I work very closely with our portfolio companies to help them with all of the operational questions that they might have once we have invested in the company. So might it be business development, international development, especially also between France and Germany, marketing, sales, everything that they basically need to be able to grow much quicker, because if you invest in seed stage or Series A, there are a lot of things that companies have to learn, a lot of things that they don't know yet, and we're here to help them on a very, very operational level to, let's say, face all of the challenges that they have in their growth journey. So this is why operations and growth is very dear to me. And I hand over to Caroline.
Thank you, Andrea. So I'm Caroline Tailleferd. I'm the CMO at Deepki, and I've spent more than 20 years in B2B software and then SaaS environments, always in international context, so working both for French companies or European companies expanding, or US companies coming to Europe, and in various sizes of companies, so from Series A to SAP, so there's a large set of examples. Went through several acquisitions also, so being on the acquiring side, we've acquired 2 companies at Deepki, or being acquired also in past experiences, so that's also an important experience when you talk about scale. And growth and scale in international environments is very close to my heart and my DNA. And at Deepki, the mission that we are running every day is to help our customers from the real estate industry decarbonize their real estate assets. And we are growing fast, like 60-ish% year on year. And we are 400 people. Yeah, and we've raised more than 200 million so far. And we are one of the portfolio companies of Andrea and Inov.
How many locations does Deepki has?
So we have 5 locations across Europe, plus we are operating through partners in the US and in the rest of Europe as well.
Excellent. Wow, this will be inspiring. Thank you all. So let's jump to the next slide, please. We prepared to discuss about this topic. A timeline of the scale-up journey. Next slide, please. So, being engaged in the scale-up journey is about to implement all these stages. Maybe you're in the home country success step and want to go global one day. So in between, we will discuss the different points illustrated by our experience, the services that we have. So as Leo told you, feel free also to prepare some questions and maybe share your experience with the audience, as long as it illustrates one of the points we will discuss today. So you want to start by following up this journey?
Sure. We also wanted to get to know you a little bit better. So we already saw people who are not from France, so that's really great. Welcome. Who is working in the startup scale-up here? Okay. And who is expanding to other countries than France already? Ah, okay. So it will be very interesting to have your questions. We'll go through the journey, and then Caroline, she will give us some, very first-hand experience from everything you did in your different experiences. So it's really a very inspiring journey that you did with the different companies, and now especially with Deepki. So the idea is really to have some time to ask questions for you, that we can help you maybe in the journey that you have right now. And so we start at number 1.
It's obvious, but let's say that you cannot really consider international expansion without having a local success. Just to give you the resources, just to give you the team, to the team that has already succeeded once and with one culture, one market. But it doesn't say that your local success is a proof that you will succeed in another one. So yes, you have this product that runs well, you have this team, and you have processes. I think that on this topic, maybe Andrea, you have a lot to say, because you take care of companies' process so early. How do you advice early in the process before they expand? How do you assess that the company has the right processes?
Yeah, so I think what is important, it always depends on the industry and the product that you sell, right? But normally what you say is, first of all, you have to have some kind of good success, some stable business in your home country before thinking about going to too many countries or trying to expand into 4 different languages, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for the whole team. It's a lot of adaptation. So, of course, the first thing before thinking about international is to have something stable. So at least a product market fit, and ideally some first stable clients that can even help you go into another country. If you work for big corporates, for example, they can help you, be a first big brand when you want to go to another country, for example. So a minimum of stabilized business in the home country is, of course, very, very important. It's important to have a strong team, because international brings a lot of pressure on the teams. Normally the CEOs and the management team is very solicited in the international process, so they will not have so much time to focus on the local business. So the local business must be strong, so that the management can defocus a little bit to think about international. And of course, the processes need to run. If you want to scale, you need a process that is scalable. So if your sales operations, your marketing operations are not running in your home country, then it's difficult to scale them to other languages. So this goes really very down to the emails that you write, the cadences that you have, the product material, product marketing that you have. And Caroline, she will tell us all about this, how you do, because it's very important. And so for us, and what we also tell our portfolio companies, is that it's important when you international expansion normally comes after the first series, the Series A investment, because this is the first step where you go international. And we say, okay, have your product ready, have your team ready, and then when you're strong enough, then go to the first country, because this is basically what you have to validate between the Series A, Series B. So you have to open a major international market. Just speaking for my home country here, so the German market is really just over the Rhine, so you can focus on that, for example. I think Deepki took a little bit different approach through Southern Europe and then going up to Germany. So there are different pathways that you can go, and it would be interesting to hear from you how it happened for Deepki.
So thank you, Andrea. How it happened for Deepki? So we started by Southern Europe, believing that maybe the culture of Southern Europe was closer to the French culture, and it was a success. But a lot of pathways can lead to success. So Germany first could have worked. Why not? The important thing is really to solidify the understanding that you have of your home market. And be really strong on your foundations, meaning, of course, you need to have more than an MVP, like a product market fit. A product market fit meaning success that is replicable from one reference to the other, like not artistic references selling different things to different kind of people, which means you need to understand your ideal customer profile very well. You need to understand the pain that you're solving very well, and you need to have processes that can scale the replication of this act of selling the thing that you know very well to the targets that you must know very well as well. And so I wouldn't put a focus on internationalization before understanding this very deeply and understanding how your product is scaling already in your home country. Then, when you are willing to expand, there are various ways to do it, but I would say that expanding through big customers is certainly the safest way or the easiest way, because you know them already and you have validated with them that they had a pain that you could solve, and you will only face the cultural gap, your ability to run your product in a different language or country. You will face, all the legal stuff, having staffing in that country, which are already a lot of issues or challenges to face. But the rest is going to be safer. Whereas if you are going to another country and prospecting in new customers, and you're maybe not succeeding, you don't know if it's a problem of product, of culture, of people, of execution, and then it becomes more difficult to solve. So what we've done is expansion through customers, and having like 3, 4, 5 customers references validated in that country before having people in that country and opening an office in this country. I think that's an important step. And then once you are having people in that country, they have references already to do their prospection, and it's much easier and faster.
Okay. I think we can jump to the second step, which is preparation. It's obvious once again, but it's not easy to get access to all the regulation aspects of your next destination. So once you selected your next country destination, be sure to know everything about the local rules. My advice is simple. Contact the official body in charge of foreign direct investments, like to choose Paris region or choose France, business France, sorry. There is one in every metropolis, in every country. This is common. This is a global model. Every destination has one. And they are free of charge, and they are open to discussion to exactly help you build your business plan. Because it's every country, and I think you'll agree, every country is a new business plan. It's like a new venture. So be sure to put a line on what does it take to hire the country manager. We will talk about talent. What does it take to be compliant with the local rules? Do I go to this new destination to raise funds? This can be also a strategy, but be prepared to arrive with great figures, to show off your best situation. That's the kind of thing we can discuss right now. So if you want to implement.
Yeah, maybe most projects, and I've done over 60 projects, internationalizing, especially for me, between Germany and France. So the projects we see that can fail very quickly is because the teams are not prepared. And going to another country is complicated. We already talked about the basics that you have to, let's say, set in stone before taking this first step. And then it's really a question of understanding the other market. For example, for the French people, for the French startups going to a market like Germany, which is the biggest market in Europe if we take away the UK, is a big step. It's a big market. There are very many competitors. There's very many a lot of activity, of course, in Germany. So when we say preparation, we think that you should take at least 6 to 9 months to prepare, and you can prepare very in advance to raising your funds, in advance to a first big step or a first milestone that you want to do in the country. And preparing means just get to know the country that you're going to. We see too many companies going and saying, okay, it's going to be the same. We're just going to, copy paste and translate everything and try to sell to Germans, or to any other country. You will maybe confirm if it's the same for the other countries, but. So do your research, first of all, market research. It can be desk research. You can take a company who can do it for you, whatever. Just try to find someone who will explain your specific target market to you and to your team. Try to integrate all of the management team in this. Take the team with you. Don't do it, in a small box. So do the market research. Use also the resources, as Thomas just said. In Germany, for example, it's called the German Trade and Invest, the GTAI, and you can contact them. They can give you some market research. They can give you contacts. They can explain to you the market, and those are, companies that, or let's say, services that you can find in all of the countries. Once you've done the market research, I think it's very important, try to engage with other founders who have already done it before, like Deepki or others. Try to contact them on LinkedIn. You say, hey, we want to go to Germany. We have seen you done it. I've done my research. I still have some questions that I don't have the answer to. Do the research before you contact them so you can ask intelligent questions, and try to learn as much as you can to be sure that when you go there, you know very many things, and then try to engage, go to events, meet people. This is all part for me of preparation and market research, basically. And once you know, you have understood that the ICP is different, or how you have to adapt, then you can go into the step of localization, legal and compliance, to really say, okay, now we translate a first landing page, we try to translate a first a slide deck for sales, for example, that we can take with us. We go to a couple of events, there are so many, for example, in Germany, and just pitch our idea 20 times a day, just get the feedback from the market. People tell you it's good. No, we already have 20 companies like yours, and it's just, you would invest too much money to go to the market. So do this research. Legal compliance is super important. It depends on the sector that you're in, but I had one client working with us in fintech, and because we didn't ask for the right agreement in the German market for financial services, we just lost 6 months, which is a lot for an investor. If you look at 6 months, lost in business, then you say, okay, you should have thought about this 6 months ago. And then, of course, the fundraising. So either you've already raised your funds and then you can just deploy a strategy, or you take the project of going to the market in the Series A fundraising and maybe raise a little bit more to do the first steps. This is from my side.
Thank you, Andrea. So I could not agree more. Do your research. Market research is very important in terms of who are the customers that you're going to go after. There's a question of TAM, like total addressable market. What is the size of your market, which can be bottom up or top down, and I would recommend to do both estimations, and then really deep dive into what is the list of the prospects that you want to go after. If you don't know that, well, you need to work a little bit more before expanding. Then I would refer also to Business France. So Business France is really a great support. It is free or almost free of charge. From my past experiences, I've worked with them in 2 companies, so at Deepki, but also before that, that was to expand to the US, and really I think that's Impact something, the name of the program, that helps you settle in the US. It's really a fantastic support. It gives you a lot of support with regards to everything that's described. So market research, legal, compliance, how to hire team members that are local, but also maybe I'll share a few tips on that as well. So how to hire the good ones in the market that you want to land in. Another consideration that I would make is sometimes a mistake that startups or early startups are making is that they are very happy. Yes, we found product market fit. Let's go everywhere. Let's go global. But maybe the product market fit that they found is French or German or local. And it could be a different product market fit in a different localization. So this has to be really understood, that maybe you think that the problem you're solving is the same, but your product is going to need small or larger adaptations in the next country, so you need to be ready for that. And it's very often underestimated. So people understand that there are cultural challenges, legal, commercial challenges, notoriety challenges. You're not known in the new location. But sometimes they're like, yeah, we do have product market fit, so the product is good. Yeah, maybe it's good in your home country, so don't forget about that.
Yeah, you are in energy saving for buildings, but just a simple fact that buildings are not made the same in France or in Spain. That's the kind of...
I would say that for us specifically, this is not too much of a problem. The thing that we are looking at is regulations. And so in Europe, it's easier because the regulations come from Europe. So the companies in each European country, they have to comply with the same regulation. On top of that, you have local regulations that you need to understand as well. But it's a framework that is at least common.
But know the difference and
yeah.
be sure to comply. Okay, we we hear the same question as partners, investing in French partners. Where can I find my talent? This is the first need, top number one need. Please share your extra knowledge, Paul-Noël, about that. It's the third step, find top talent.
Well, where to find top talents, I do not know exactly. This is a good question. It's very challenging for all companies, obviously, whatever the country. It's probably, let's say, more challenging for startups because you may have difficulties to be more attractive than a big company. So you will be challenged on this point. And you must be attractive for those talents. So here in France, we have many talents, but depending on your activity, it's even more true for startups. You're dealing with different activities that are very specific. For example, IE, EI, or depending on if you're dealing with food tech or deep tech, I don't know, but you're looking for specific talents that are very uncommon on the job market. And you may have to find those talents abroad. So you have to be attractive for them because, as you know, there is a war for talents between European countries, but not only. And how to be attractive as a startups. So obviously you can be attractive thanks to your brand's reputations, but if you propose a nice work environment or flex office, but you must also, before entering the market, identify all attractive measures to attract those talents. I don't know what are the measures for other countries, but in France, according to the ESNA report of 2023, we are the most attractive country in Europe for startups. So we have many tools to attract those tech talents. And I will add that we have specific immigration procedures to attract those foreign talents. Thanks to the French tech visa procedures, we are able to provide those talents with a tech residence permit dedicated to the tech ecosystem, and they can enjoy benefits from a residence permit which will be longer for longer periods, such as 4 years of residence in France. They can come with their family, it's family friendly, and they will benefit from online procedures so they don't have to come to the local authorities to submit their administrative files. And this procedure is also favorable as an employer because you will not have to request a work permit authorization before hiring them. So they can begin the job quicker than other foreign employees that are employed with classic procedures. That being said, you must also anticipate the procedures because it's the same for every country, but it takes time to recruit foreign talents. So you have to anticipate who is going to work for a company, if you need them for a short period, a long term with a local contract. If you're doing an intra-group mobility with your subsidiary firm, you have to anticipate those points because the procedure will be different. And the best way to anticipate when you're hiring foreign talent is to be supported by a consulting firm or business friends, for example. We business friends, as I told you, we can support you from the beginning to the end of the recruitment. But since we are a free service, we cannot go into the details. We cannot prepare the administrative file. We cannot verify the compliance of the documents. So don't hesitate to be supported by a consulting firm that will be able to take in charge all the steps and that will be able to anticipate the legal difficulties. That's the point. I don't know, Caroline, if you, from your side, if you met difficulties to attract those talents, whatever the countries, and how to do so.
So yes, it's very, very difficult. So of course you need to be attractive as an employer. So that means understanding the benefits that are important in your country of destination. That could be healthcare for the US or things like that. But I think what is important is really the values of your company, and finding people who really adhere to those values. It will improve the stickiness of those employees, and there will be a better match. One other recommendation is to find multicultural talents or bicultural talents, because you will always have, especially at the beginning, some very big cultural gaps with your home country. The product is coming from here, the references are coming from here, everything is coming from the home country. And for 1 or 2 or 3 people abroad, that's really complicated to understand exactly what's happening in the French office or in the domestic office. So ideally, and that's very difficult to find, hire multicultural talents. I personally maybe wouldn't necessarily start with a country manager. You can start by a country manager, but hiring a very good country manager is very difficult. And if you start from there, but your hiring is a fail, then you delay your entire project by 6, 9, 12 months. So that is huge in terms of funding. And so that means that if you can send abroad one of your existing talents, you will already test the local market and see the adaptations that are needed, and maybe the person can be sent on a ongoing basis and they want to live abroad, or they can be sent just on a regular basis. You can, what we are doing at Deepki is we are promoting the fact that employees from all departments can go and work in our other locations to promote the culture of the company in our other locations. So that's also very important. And one anecdote, it was not at Deepki but previously, we finally hired the Business France person that was helping us land in the US to help us with our commercial development in the US. So I wouldn't say hire all Business France people because I'm going to be in trouble, but that's also, the network is to be explored.
Their staff is great and they are all over the world.
I agree. I agree with you. It's very important to promote intra-group mobility. Since they already know your company, they know how it works, so it will be easier for them to begin the activity in France or whatever the country. And in France, we do have specific procedures for intra-group mobility talents, so they can come with the family members, and it's very easy to promote this step.
I can share an experience because I meet many companies who are in between establishing a local company in France. They just hired remotely someone, so they pay for a company to do the payroll locally. So it's at least 10% fee to pay this French employee, and finally, when they get up to 5, 8 employees in France, it's not worth the money. They should have the legal entity to handle all the payroll and the paperwork with an accountant. That's for financial reasons. But that's also for loyalty reasons. If you want to increase, I like the word, the stickiness of your employees. Imagine you pay them through a third-party payroll company. How do they feel behaving to your brand, to your company? It's important also to, as soon as possible, financially speaking, as soon as possible to offer them the exact framework in which every other workers around them are evolving. The kind of, in France, the healthcare, free education for their kids. That's really convenient, and it's more sustainable, I would say, more stable if you offer them a legal entity locally. True in every country, so that's why we say it comply to the rules. In fact, people, human resources, is important in terms of compliance as well.
Shall I? So when we go to the next step, so the fourth step, pilot market entry, so find the first market. So for Deepki it was Spain, I think, yeah?
Yes, Spain, and then very quickly Italy.
Yes.
And then it took a little bit of time to move to Germany and the UK.
So what we advocate for our startups is to be very sure about the pilot market, the first market that you want to enter. So we advocate, of course, first scaling in Europe before going to the US, because you can, fail very, very fast and lose very much money very quickly in the US. So ideally, what you can do is, and this is a very easy exercise. You look at, and we have it very often. So, what is going to be the first market? Is it Spain? Is it France? Is it France for our German companies? Is it Germany? So, what you can do very easily is you take the 5 to 10 biggest markets that you have in Europe. You take 20 or 30 criteria that are important for your business. You put up an Excel sheet, questions in the rows, and then all of the countries in the different columns, and you just try to make some kind of matrix, country and market comparison matrix. And you ask questions like, who are my ICP? How much are they willing to spend? Depending on your market, you just take 20, let's say, questions. And then you just rate the different countries, because what we see very often is a not very objective way of choosing the first market. So either it's because we think we are culturally close, or we think that we have an aunt who is living in Berlin, or we think that we know the Germans because we've been to the Oktoberfest. It's running right now, So it's really, we see that in real business, and what we try to tell to companies is you have to have a very objective and data-based approach to what is your first pilot country and the first market, because the first market will also guide your international expansion path in the whole. So you can write your international playbook, you can write all of the processes, and you really have to learn on the first market. So the first market is your pilot, is where you learn everything about international expansion, everything that you have to document also, because once you have understood how to internationalize your business and your product to another market, you can kind of copy-paste, like let's say 60-70% copy-paste, and then the rest is local adaptation. But this is really very important to have a data-based approach to choosing your pilot market. And how did it work?
So, as you're mentioning, sometimes you're making choices and they are not based on data. I was not at Deepki when the expansion started in Southern Europe, so I don't know the entire story, but I don't know if it was based on data, to be very honest. However, that was a really nice first step abroad, and we were stronger than when we entered Germany, a little bit supported by Andrea, with a very strong market research that helped a lot. So if you can't do it internally, explore the ecosystem and have people who really know those markets help you. That's really important. And then, I think what we have now is really a customer-first expansion strategy. And at the same time, we are really studying very deeply the size of our markets. And we really know the list of the customers that we want to prospect. Like, we have a top 150 list of customers that we want to penetrate. And we know them, we map them, we know the persona that we need to talk to, and that's very data-based, and we know the potential revenue that we can make for each line and each customer. So I would really say, do this beforehand, because you could be surprised, and maybe your ICP, they are, I don't know, you have not a lot of those customers in Netherlands, or you have plenty of them, but you don't know, and you need to know before investing.
If you don't have access to database of such target companies, ask the local organizations such as Invest in Bavaria. Or of course Business Friends, or the local entity, and so on. Because we have, and we all have, such agencies has plenty of database to make some extraction for for Deepki, for instance, having the list of the real estate company in such a destination as Spain it's not so easy from Paris to be sure not to miss the right targets. So if you ask someone in Madrid to do this job, it will be more accurate, more culturally accurate. So everywhere you go, ask once again. It's a free of charge service. Of course, we won't do the market research for you, but we open some data set just for your needs.
Business France, they do a market research. You used it also, I think.
Yes.
So in the impact programs, you also have market research and even business development. You even go into, arranging one-to-one meetings with potential clients.
Yes. So use subsidized services in your local area to go abroad. So export support exists nearly everywhere.
So when we then, you wanted to add something? When we go to the scaling in Europe, I think it's very interesting to have your point of view. So once you have opened the first pilot market and business is running in Spain or in Germany, then of course you have to replicate from country to country and become a real European player, because this is what we really want. And this is also the latest step where you have to switch from we are the French leader to we are the European leader. So ideally you switch as quickly as possible to talk about European leadership. And I think you are not only European but global leader now in what you do. So maybe tell us a little bit about the scaling process, running different countries in the same time and making everyone happy and all of the clients understanding. That's a lot. It's very complex.
It's very complex because it's being local and global at the same time. So it means your processes, they need to be scalable. So that means the go-to-market processes, for instance, to run a sales cycle must be extremely processed, and they must be the same across countries. But since you're facing cultural differences, so the process needs to be exactly the same, but its execution can be adapted by the people you're hiring in those countries. So you need to be very strong on your processes and adapt them to the local culture. So it's a balance that is really difficult to find. Processes are non-negotiable, but how you apply them needs to be adapted. And so that's one of the things that are important. Then how you become a European leader? Well, you need to acquire references. And so first of all, to establish the success in a country, you need to have your own customer references there. But then when you have found product market fit in those countries and you have something that is a fit across several countries and you want to have a bigger impact, acquisitions can be on your radar. For instance, we've acquired a small UK competitor a few years back, and it really helped us penetrate the UK market. We already had UK references and UK success, but we were perceived as the French scale-up coming to the UK. Once we've had done this acquisition, then our notoriety really changed, and we were considered a global player and even a UK incumbent, since we had also the UK people from the acquired company that became Deepki's. We onboarded the clients on Deepki, and really it helped a lot. That was a big accelerator.
And how do you, maybe we'll ask the questions. It's rather for you to ask the questions. So maybe we take the last step and then we can go into the questions.
Quite quickly, going global is of course the best target, but it implies to be sure to follow the standardization process of many fields become technical. So international standards must be really, you must be sure to know it. Branding, becoming a global brand is quite costly. So be sure to also prepare in advance with communication specialists. If they are not in-house, but be sure that they have this international mindset and view. Then be sure to maintain a collaboration between your different entities, different continents. So this is challenging, but really, really mandatory. So maybe you're early in the process of going global at Deepki, but you are facing the first challenges of this step.
Yes, absolutely. So we are considered the global leader on our market. We are twice the size of our main US competitor. So that's quite amazing in the tech industry that is usually heavily led by the US. But being in the ESG field gives us a real competitive advantage because ESG is really ahead of the curve in Europe. And so that's really an advantage for us to get global, because dealing with global customers, they need to comply with one set of regulations, and since Europe is ahead, then global players, even US players, they want to comply for all their locations across the globe with US regulations. And so knowing and being an expert of those regulations and helping EU customers is a proof for them that the standard that they will adhere to is going to be like even better than the upcoming unknown standards in their own locations. So just for funders here, a side note that climate tech and ESG is really a field where there is massive growth and massive opportunity, and there's an opportunity of European sovereignty there that is quite unique. So you can deep dive into that. And yes, we're the global leader in our field, and I think that, okay, those steps are great guidance, but sometimes there's theory and there's a reality. And in reality, being global, I would say, can come at the early phase of the creation or early expansion of the company, like Series A, Series B, because if you know that you want to be global, then from the start, you can be born global. That means, for instance, from a brand perspective, you don't need a website in French or in German at the start, but you're building everything in English from the start. That can be a real accelerator. You can hire talents that are multicultural. That means not only German talents for Germany, but like talents from all over the place, because it makes your teams more international from the start. It makes them more creative. And in my team, I've hired people from South America, like a few years back when we were opening Germany. So you could say, oh, what's the relationship? Well, being diverse is really important, and being diverse early makes it like easier to be global at the end of this journey and framework. And this is not the end; this is the beginning of another journey, being global. And so that means really from a brand perspective, you mentioned there's an investment, and the brand thing is really. I'm a marketer, so that's a topic that is very close to my heart. But really, your brand is not the colors on your website. The brand is your mission. It's who you are. It's your values and the mission of the company, what you are solving. These are the foundations of the brand, and everything should be based on those foundations. And you have a strong brand, and then you can build a reputation, because it is not what agency A or agency B has created for you, like a copy-paste of their past project. So it must be based on who you are and very close to your DNA, so that it's the same story, step 1 and step 6. The only thing that changed is the scale, and it's like the order of magnitude of everything. But for us at Deepki, the mission, our mission statement, it remains the same. So when we are saying at Deepki, we are helping our customers accelerate their transition toward net zero carbon.